Welcome to The Nature of Mental Health, the podcast where we explore how time outdoors supports emotional well-being, resilience, and healing. I'm your host, Will Henry, clinical social worker, nature-informed therapist, and founder of Riverstone Mental Health Collective. Join me as we dive into practical tools, meaningful conversations, and inspiring stories that help us reconnect with the natural world and ourselves. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. Welcome back to The Nature of Mental Health. I'm so happy to welcome back Lali Herrera from Inner Worlds Psychotherapy for your third visit here on the summer solstice. Very excited. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much. I love that this is a recurring call with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
How has your spring been treating you? What's been going on the last few months?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I've been gardening. I didn't used to live on a piece of land where I had my own yard. So this is the
amazing.
first time that, so I have this garden going.
Oh,
I
yay.
have 3 beds. I have a 10x4 bed for vegetable and then 2 3x4 beds for herbs. And then some pots that I have on the little deck
Wow.
on the top. Yeah, I'm going
How are they
all
looking
in.
now? I mean, it's summer, right? It's coming, it's here. So how are
Yeah.
they? Are you harvesting yet?
I've been able to have some bok choy, and that's it so far. But
Okay.
the tomatoes, I just have one little tomato coming out of the 2 tomato plants. And the zucchinis are starting to get pretty big. They're taking up space. They're in full bloom.
Oh,
And
wow.
the spaghetti squash is starting to flower a bit. So we're getting there. We're not quite ready to eat, but I'm very excited to eat it.
You got some good stuff in there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have my property is very covered by trees. I don't have enough light to. When we moved in years ago, I was like, I'll have tomatoes. This will be great. And, don't get enough light. You need light.
Well, you can get some some leafy greens, like a kale or arugula that are more shade oriented.
Okay. I'll have to look into that. I planted some rosemary. I love that with my potatoes.
Oh, delicious. Yeah. There's something about eating something, a herb from the garden. It just feels
absolutely,
really special. Yeah.
Absolutely. Has anything shifted for you, since we last spoke? It was the spring equinox, related to nature. Is there anything new that you've been doing, trying, experiencing?
I've been trying to go outside more and spend more time out. It's so easy to just enjoy my view from the window and work, from my view.
Right.
But I've been really trying to be more intentional about spending some mornings outside and starting the day that way. I know you mentioned spending out the first few minutes of your day out in the sun.
First few minutes. I mean, it's more like an hour. I try to get out there bright and early. I wanted to ask you about this. Thank you. Good segue. So I've been going out. I get up every morning, very early. And sometimes I sleep in till 7:30 and I regret I haven't gotten up already because I love going out and spending the first hour. I'll have my coffee, sit on my deck with the chipmunks and the birds and the little waterfall I've got and just vibe with the morning light. I mean, what is it about the morning light, do you think, that's so special?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the research, but I know that there is science about your eyes and the sunlight first thing in the morning, and how it affects I don't even know what hormone because I don't know the science behind it, but it does affect your serotonin or dopamine or something along those
That's amazing.
lines that impacts your whole day and it definitely decreases stress. Our bodies are meant to immediately see sun. Our eyes are meant to immediately see sun first thing in the morning. Yeah.
I'm thinking about circadian rhythm as well, right? So it kind of helps kind of adjust and move into your day in a natural kind of way that is exciting almost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could feel that difference for sure. And there's something about this time of year that it's just almost like my circadian rhythm just kind of kicks in. I just naturally am waking up earlier.
Yeah.
It's like the energy of the sun is just going through my body and my being. And I'm like, I want to be up and I'm going to
yes.
Just
my alarm is set for 7 and I usually wake up before that going, I get to go outside.
Yeah, right. And there's something with the birds chirping and they are so loud. It's
loud
like a
in the
natural
morning.
alarm, but in good way. Like,
In
I'm
a
glad.
very good way, in a very good
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I've similarly been spending my mornings outside on my with my garden. I check on the garden, make sure no animals came and ate because my strawberries went missing.
Oh
Someone came and ate the
boy.
strawberries, which I don't blame them, but, it's sad.
It is sad. You're like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
So I go and
they were
check on
probably
it.
good for them, but
Yeah, yeah, I
I
know.
wanted some too.
Yeah, yeah. And I get, I wanna share, but I also want them for myself. But I go
Want
and check
some
on the
for
garden.
myself.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then I like to be barefoot when I do it and earth and
Oh,
really connect
nice.
with the conductive energy and
Mhm.
the natural battery of the earth. And I notice the
I
days that I
love
do
that.
that, there's such a significant difference in like how my day is set. But I won't say I do it every day. There's some days that I don't get to it, or I go to the gym first thing, and like
Mhm.
I'm routine oriented as well. But it does integrating it to some degree does significantly impact my entire week, not just my day or the next few hours. So I want to be doing more of that as the summer goes on. And now that though it's kind of like this nice crisp weather at the beginning of the day and in the evenings, I'm
Mhm.
obsessed with summer evenings. But this like
Oh, I
crisp
love that.
weather is just so pleasant to be out
So
in.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice. I know, and excuse me, a lot of people just like this is airing on the solstice, right? It's the longest day of the year, and there are a lot of people out there that's the extent of what this is. It's the longest day of the year, and there's not much beyond that. What
Mm.
do you think? Like to you, you mentioned Battery of the Earth. I love that framework. Energetically, biologically, psychologically, like what's happening at the solstice? Where are we moving? What's going on for you?
Yeah, yeah. For me, I see, well, the longest day of the year, we're like literally seeing more of the day. So I think of a lot of visibility, and our visibility within ourselves, in each other, being more visible in ways that maybe feel expansive and new for us. That could be, um, sharing more of what we feel. That could be asking for a promotion at work. That could be sharing your artwork, your creativity, sharing more food in your garden if you're up for it. Like creating more of that visibility and in yourself and letting yourself be seen and take up space, which I think is something that a lot of us really struggle with in our day to day. But I,
Mhm.
I really see that in the summer solstice, physically through the day being long, but also the way the plants are blooming and growing this time of year and how much space they allow themselves to take up, without any constriction or worrying about, who's going to be offended by it. They just
Right. I
are
love
as they
that.
are. Yeah.
They take up the space they need, no more, no less. And
Yeah.
they all, and that's a lesson I think we can all learn.
Yeah.
We don't need
Yeah.
to make ourselves small. This is a time for expansiveness. I love that. And taking up the space you need.
Yeah. Yeah. The plants know that they're worthy of it. They don't question it.
That's right. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of disconnect too, right?
Mm.
So we're talking about expansiveness and like connection and taking up space. But there's we spend a lot of the year. I mean, you think about in the winter, we're like huddled up inside, staying warm. In the summer, a lot of times we're inside, staying cool. And there's a lot of disconnect. Um, and we look for the screen glow, the AC, what do you think that actually does to us over time? The not being expansive, going outside, experiencing the morning light and the garden and the,
Yeah. I think it sort of blunts us a little bit where we're
mm,
not moving into spaces where we're pushing our edge a bit, the discomfort, the brutal coldness of winter and the brutal heat of summer and how uncomfortable the two are. Not necessarily that you have to like be sweating profusely to like go to
right.
your edge, but like in the metaphoric sense of like where
Yes.
are we allowing ourselves to be a little uncomfortable? It's perhaps more comfortable to be in front of the AC with our phone and scrolling and whatnot rather than working on the creative project that we've been putting off or going ahead and sharing how we really feel and being vulnerable. I mean, whatever it is, like I think there's something about disconnecting from what we really want in life and really allowing ourselves to step into it. Um, I feel like I'm going off, not answering your question anymore.
No, no, not at
But
all. I'm no, that's blunted is a perfect, and you're staying like in your like comfort zone because you were just speaking about
Mm,
growth and expansiveness. And when you stay in your comfort zone, right, when you don't get uncomfortable, when you don't push those
yeah,
limits, you don't grow, you don't
yeah,
expand, you don't experience more, you don't
yeah.
understand what it is to be comfortable if you're not uncomfortable once in a while.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that makes us disconnected from ourselves, and then therefore,
Mm,
if we're disconnected from ourselves, it's we're innately beginning to disconnect from the world around us and the people around us, and, yeah, I think that there is some disconnect in the comfort of this consistency that we kind of seek all year round, like that 72 degrees,
right.
and like constantly like in this like state of comfort, and, I think it's great that we have that luxury now that our
Sure.
ancestors never had. But yes, there is a sense of like where are we moving into the seasonal changes a bit and letting ourselves be in like this new state, whether that be discomfort or not, or uncomfortable.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
think there's a certain like population, generation, or group of people that are more cut off from seasonal rhythms or you know, these disconnectedness than another group?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think we're all like I think that boomers are just as hooked to their phone as Gen Zs are.
Yeah.
I think we're all looking to scroll and we're all looking for our AC units and our comfort. I'm sorry, I don't know if you heard that horse losing it outside, but I don't know if there's like necessarily an age group that's like more
More than
disconnected. Yeah, I think they're disconnected in different ways, and I think different generations like
good
to
observation.
judge the others based, but there's different we're all trying to find the comfort of, staying where we are, what was the comfort of staying familiar, to
Mm.
some degree, and I think it just looks different for different generations and, different populations of people. What do you think?
I have I like to work with a lot of young people, and I see um the younger generations kind of they're so structured. You know,
Mm,
it's not that they're more uh cut off necessarily, but their time is structured. You got to go from A to B to C, go home, do homework, this, that, the other. And there's less opportunity, I want to say, is
mm,
what one of the things I've been noticing. There's, and at the same time, I'll see their parents be like, well, they need to spend more time outside, but then there's not as much opportunity because we live in a structured, and they live in a structured environment now where it's, you have to schedule the basketball classes or teams, and you have to go schedule the with friends and for the younger people.
mm.
I don't know. That's something I've just been seeing a lot of lately.
That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. Do you think that, older generations didn't live as structured when they were
I don't
younger?
I didn't,
Okay.
personally,
Yeah.
in Generation X, right? And I, part of the feral whatever, as they say. I've been seeing a lot of things online, but yeah, I came home from school, for example, and then I lived right by the woods, and I spent as much time in the woods by
Oh.
myself just playing, and my dad would whistle really loudly, and I'd be like, "Oh, time to come home." It's dark. That was my unstructured outside playtime.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
Mm,
Yeah, I'd go to the neighborhood and ride bikes with the neighborhood kids and stuff like that too. But I cherished like playing in the stream in the woods near my
mm,
house. And
yeah.
when I was really little, I mean, I would start doing that at like 8, right? I would have my little action figures and I would play,
Oh,
and that
that's
grew to
sweet.
building forts and building, and
Yeah.
dams or whatever, just playing in the water. And, so yeah, it was more unstructured, I think, 40 years ago than it is today.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like there needs to be more structured, unstructured time, which,
Well, I 100% agree with that. That's a whole nother conversation about, how important unstructured play is for young people because, it gives them time to work out, uh, issues, work out how to advocate for themselves, work out how interpersonal conflicts, work out like all these different things. And they say that, to bring it back to nature, that children outside in a yard will find more excitement on a log in a bush than any kind of structured activity you can provide for them, because
Mm,
they get to be creative, they get to explore new worlds, they get to learn how to navigate each other's differences and all of these things. And we need more of that unstructured play, you know?
yeah,
Supervised, healthy, safeguards put in place, but unstructured, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Really let the mind just be and
And let us be
explore.
creative. It's, and you're talking about, being outside playing, I said playing in the garden, but
I
it's
mean,
kind of
it's
how it
fine.
feels, right?
Yeah.
But being out there, and it's unstructured to some degree, and
Mhm,
it's fun. And, you know, I think that, you talked about, I'm going to bring it back to what you were saying before about the growth and the expansiveness, right? Some people, though, see it as kind of like anxiety producing because, I think I mentioned this earlier when we were talking was, yes, it's the longest day of the year, but the days get shorter from here on out.
mhm.
And how can we, speaking it like unstructured, but how can we be present within that unstructured environment? What are some things I think that, not just young people, but anybody can do over the next couple of months here until the autumnal equinox, that we can be more present and aware of our growth and expansiveness during this time?
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
any ideas?
Yeah, when I think of like growth and expansion and the anxiety around it, it's when we come up with our edge into something that feels unfamiliar to some degree. And our mind always wants, and our mind and our nervous system and our body will always try to move
Mm,
towards what's familiar. So when we're getting close to a new place of expansion, we are getting into the unfamiliar places. So our body is going to signal not safe, our subconscious is going to signal not
mhm,
safe. So as we're moving towards the autumn equinox after this, I think of it as a time of shedding. So what is it if I want to step into this place of this new expanded, I want to step into my edge a bit more. What do I need to be shedding and letting go of? What belief system do I have that will help me? What belief system do I have now that is limiting me that I can begin to shed little by little as I am beginning to step into this version of me, or this edge or this experience that I've been wanting, but maybe have been
mm.
too scared of consciously or unconsciously.
I like
Yeah.
that. And then being present really, you have to be present to be able to be aware of what
Mhm.
you need to shed, right? Of the
Absolutely. Yeah.
of the things, yeah.
Presence all year round. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And it's so hard to remember
Mhm.
that. I talk about, in my office, people with anxiety, we get heightened, we get to the edge where we start our
Mhm.
nervous systems, everybody, like you're saying, I need more I need more familiarity, and I
Yeah.
talk about tactile like sensations getting into your body, but also the earth, right? Being earthing and being and playing in the garden, right? And doing these things makes you more present and in the moment and can relieve some of that dread or fear of, the light
Yeah.
going away every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you're saying about tactile because I mean, being in the garden, being outside this time of year, it's so much easier to just tap into the tactileness of our environments and
Mm,
our body being a representation of the earth and how we can like tap into more movement this time of year, go swimming in a lake or
yes.
go walking or hiking or taking a nap on a hammock, like whatever it is that it gets us to get into that our body into that innate tactileness that helps us stay as present as possible. um, yeah, and our breath, I mean, it was so windy yesterday, like, that is, like,
Right.
you know? So the wind being, like, our internal breath, our air, like, like, if the wind is going off really aggressively, like, is this telling me that I need to be breathing more? Like, what where is
Mm,
it mirrored here where I can,
love that.
utilize it as a tool, as a reflection, and into my experience?
I love that tool. I think we talk about that every 3 months. The mirroring nature
Yeah.
and letting it be a guide, right?
Yeah.
And letting and reflecting back to us, what do we need? Maybe, I love that. The wind's blowing. Do I need to breathe more? That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I know, So, like, practically, right? A lot of people listen to this in their commutes or they're walking or, what is something that we can concretely do, like, this week to kinda tap into, this new season, right? This summer solstice this week. How can we tap into that intentionally? Do you have any
Yeah,
exercises that you like to practice?
there's a few that comes. My first one that came to mind was earthing. I mean, because that's something
Yeah.
we already done. Like
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
now that there's no snow on the ground and the earth isn't too cold, it actually feels really refreshing because it's a
Absolutely.
nice coolness,
I was gonna
and
say, it's
yeah,
amazing how cool, I mean, on a hot summer day, putting your hands in the actual earth is so
it just like regulates the
refreshing
body
for the
temperature and any like
yes.
flusteredness, because anxiety and all anger, all those uncomfortable feelings that tend to bring a lot of heat into our system,
Mhm.
along with the sun beaming onto us. So it's like all this physical heat, and then if we can just touch something that's cool, go into the forest. I mean, it's degrees
Shade, yeah,
cooler in the
degrees,
woods,
yeah,
and we
absolutely.
can cool ourselves down. Breathing in through the mouth, out through the nose, literally like a cooling, cool air into the mouth, then we can feel that coolness and that kind of like equalizing, I don't know if that's the right word or if
That's
that's
yeah,
even a
no,
word, but
absolutely, yeah, it is, absolutely
some of
is.
that like heat that's built with the anxiety and the heat that's already externally around us. And then also, it's also tapping into heat, like tapping into our solar plexus, our place of empowerment,
Mm,
and that being the element of fire. And I know we talked before we got on the call about connecting with fire this weekend as a mirror of the sun, the solstice, the
yes.
longest time of the year. What's our internal fire, our internal passion, our spirit being fire as well, and our place of empowerment. And that kind of also mirrors that, like, am I empowered enough to take this next step, to be visible, to go
Mm.
into my edge? Like, this is like where we have to like kind of take that deep breath and, step into our own fire, yeah, a little bit.
Absolutely. I love what you're saying about fire. We were speaking earlier about I have a so the summer solstice this year also is Father's Day and I'm barbecuing. And I was saying that I do like Texas style where I will sit in front of a fire for like 14 hours to manage that. And it's such a meditative, like just it's something I look forward to. I love that experience and I hadn't drawn that connection. So thank you so much about that's just the nurturance. And I'm thinking about like also the fire being such a not dramatic's not the word I want to use, but creative and destructive force. It's both
Mm.
edges of where I want to kind of experience, you know, life. And it kind of helps me center myself by being grounded and present in that fire for 14 hours as I sit there and cook. But it's
Yeah.
wonderful. So I appreciate what you had to say about that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, and I love what you're saying here about the creation and destruction. It's mirroring what we're saying in this conversation about creating and stepping into a new expansive self, while
Hmm.
also getting ready for the fall, releasing, letting that go.
Shedding. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of this combination. It does both at the same time,
Hmm.
and it goes like in different progressive directions. But yeah, the
Yeah.
fire is a mirror.
Absolutely.
A mirror
Yeah.
always mirrors.
It always mirrors. I love
Always
that.
comes down to the mirror.
I feel like I always leave these conversations and there's so much I wanna consider and think about and work on, and after our last one, I was like, "I am spending more time outside," and I've done that. Um,
Amazing.
I know that, sometimes, like, the long days can feel kinda relentless too, and there's,
Yeah.
for, hot summer days for a lot of people, um, is there something you think that summer asks of us, like, emotionally that other seasons don't? For example, we spoke last time about, being able to, as spring comes in, and our calendars fill up, being able to say no, being able to take time for ourselves to do that. Do you think, is there any reflections or anything about that?
Yeah, yeah, I think that it's, like, amplified now with this again, I'm
Mhm.
thinking of this fire and, like, burnout. Like, it's how are we tending our personal fire? because we could very easily burn out. Like, I
Yeah.
already have July every single weekend has
Yeah.
a plan.
Oh, I
Luckily,
know.
August is not, but I'm like, "Oh gosh, what did I do? I do this." It's the pattern I'm telling people not to do.
What have I done?
Yeah. And it's so easy to, and there's all these fun
Yeah.
things happening. We're both in Westchester. There's a lot of
Hmm.
live music events happening on the waterfront, and then there's all these events in the city and all sorts of, like, really exciting things to do, and then the evenings are so refreshing. It's so easy to overstep your own personal boundary and
Ah,
burn out.
yes.
So I think when
Yes.
I think of, like, metaphorically, like, how you're tending to that fire for 14 hours, like, how are we doing that with our own energy? And what does that look like in a way that maybe feels aligned with the seasons, like how you are waking up in the morning and have it's slow, it's early, but it's slow. It's extending your day, but it's not adding too much extra energy to it. In the same way that I think the summer can look, because the middle of the day is like hot, right? But then the ends are
Yeah.
nice and cool and calm, and we can kind of mirror that in our own ways. We don't have to be like constantly on fire.
That's right. And I'm thinking about those edges too, right? There's edges, limits, edges don't always have to be thinking of like, I love the way you framed that. The day in the center, it could be 9 degrees and hot, but the mornings and the evenings, those edges of the day can be cool, refreshing, and being present in those kind of can almost wrap around like that hot, boiling
Yeah,
center
yeah,
part of the
yeah,
day.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's like the
yeah.
preparation and intention, or integration,
Yes.
sorry, preparation and integration from, like, this intense
And
part of the day.
intention. And the
Yeah, and intention, yeah.
intentionality of doing that. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely,
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. It can kind of
Wow.
feel like sometimes like, wow, at the end of the day, like, okay, I got through that. Like, that is hot. I don't have any ACs in this room, so I have fans, and it sometimes it does feel like, okay, I got through this. I got through all those
I did
colds and
it.
the heat.
Yeah, yeah.
We're getting one in here, but we've only, because the weather's still been kind of fluctuating a little bit.
Mhm.
I haven't put it in yet, but yeah, and it does feel like, relief. Like, let me integrate that day beyond just like, okay, I'm a psychotherapist and I should be integrating. I want to integrate my day anyways, but it's like the temperature kind of moves with it a little bit as well. Um, but yeah,
Absolutely.
and then going into the garden again, bookending the days in the garden is how I like to do
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we have covered a lot. This has been great. Is there anything like you hoping we would get to? I know I want to get you to plug things going on, but is there any like topic or anything you wanted to cover here at the end? Or
No, I mean, I love just how fluid our conversations go. I came in
yes,
here completely open, knowing
yeah,
that we would just have a good conversation. I always feel really energized after our talks.
same, same.
So yeah, yeah. But as we talked a little bit about shedding, going into the fall equinox, I am
Hmm.
going to be hosting a gathering online for free on Tuesday, September 22nd, which is actually on the fall equinox, and it's going to be a hypnosis gathering. So I'll talk a little bit about the fall equinox and its some of the metaphoric meanings, kind of similar to what we talked about today, but a
Uh
little bit
huh.
more condensed.
Hmm.
And then we'll do a hypnosis because I'm a certified
Wow,
hypnotherapist, and so I theme them based on the equinoxes and solstices.
I
So
love
the things
that.
that we talk about, we do in the hypnosis. We plant the seeds, we get into your expanded states and work on that, and then for the fall will be a theme around releasing and letting go, as the leaves are literally sacrificing as well and letting go.
Yes,
So we'll be
yes.
doing the same, and I can get kind of abstract and metaphoric in my hypnosis, which is so fun for me. But
Sounds so wonderful. What is the date of that again?
that's
September.
going to be Tuesday, September 22nd.
Oh, on the
That's
on the equinox.
on the equinox. Yeah, I'm going to do it at
Yes.
7:30 p.m. That's what I've been doing the last ones on. So
Okay.
I haven't made the
Perfect.
page yet, but I will send it to you once I have it up.
Excellent. Well,
That'll
and
be
we
my
know
summer
so
project.
until pages, where do they find you? Socials and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Innerworldpsychotherapy.com, right?
Yeah,
With an S.
innerworldpsychotherapy.com. There's a tab events, and it will be under that
Nice.
tab. And then that's my Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook. Although I'm most
Oh,
active on Instagram, but you can
yes,
find Inner
yes, yes,
Worlds in
yes.
all of those locations. Yeah. And I
I
would love to
love
stay
that.
connected with everyone
That
here.
sounds so amazing. That hypnosis. I'm stepping away from the microphone. Sorry. It sounds so
Oh,
amazing that hypnosis, not exercise, activity. the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing. That's
It's all because we're really part of this collective consciousness, and I
hmm
think like we talked a little bit about disconnection today, and I think that we disconnect unconsciously without meaning to do it. And when we want to make shifts in our life, I mean, we have to, the subconscious is really where it's going to be happening because we're operating 90% of our day from the subconscious mind.
hmm
It's very automatic. So when we do things intentionally in the subconscious space, and especially when it reflects nature, it, things just happen a little bit softer and more easily rather than trying to force things through willpower
yeah,
and to
yeah.
just make it work somehow. We can see things unfold a little bit more gently and easily. And who doesn't want life to be a little bit gentler and easier?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm going to end with a piece that really stuck out in the conversation today was about expansiveness and growth and taking up space,
Mm.
and mirroring nature, taking up what we need but not more and not less, giving ourselves that permission to exist in the space that we need. And thank you for expressing that.
Thank you. Thank you for hearing it and for repeating it now because I think I needed to hear that from someone else too.
Oh,
So I
good.
appreciate that.
All right, Lali. Well, I will see you at the autumnal fall equinox,
Yeah.
and I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer.
Likewise. I'm
All
sure we'll be
right.
in touch. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Nature of Mental Health. If you enjoyed today's episode, please follow, rate, and share the show. It helps others find their way to this community. For more resources, visit riverstonementalhealth.com. Until next time, notice the small spaces where nature meets your day. Stay curious, and may you find resilience in every season.